Hi. For writing, we are going to be starting what's called a pandemic journal. So, my job today is to give you directions on what this pandemic journal is going to look like, and then what our job is today to start our journal. So, I'm really excited for this to be our first digital learning writing experience because you are currently living in a time of history. We have never had something like this happen in our lives this far. So, why not take time while we're stuck at home to create our own journal that later in life and long, long, long down the road, we can look back and even show people that weren't around during this time what we went through. So, I'm going to first talk about what is a pandemic. So, a pandemic is a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease that has spread across a large region, typically across multiple continents or worldwide. So, very much explains what COVID 19, the coronavirus, has done. What is a primary source? So, we've talked about what a primary source is, and it's an eyewitness account of an event. It's a first-hand original source, which is you. Right? You are currently experiencing, like I already said before, something that's going to go down in history books. You're living it right now, right when you're at home going through all of this. You are experiencing a time that's going to be in history books. So think of it as an I Survived book, which a lot of you have read before. You're kind of keeping a journal to document this historic event through your eyes. So, what are you going to write about? So, this journal, which is going to be either a notebook that you might have laying around, maybe one that you brought home, or maybe it's just going to be loose leaf paper that you have that you're going to staple or tape together because you don't have a notebook. All of that is up to you. Do not feel like you have to go out and buy a notebook. I did find a notebook. I got it at Target. They had plenty left there, and I got it for $1. Okay. So, um, just any form of a notebook that you have at home. It can be even an old notebook that you just tear out the old pages and use the unused ones. Okay. So it's your journal. Your journal is not going to look like my journal, right? We are both, even though we're experiencing the same thing, we're experiencing them differently. So I want you to be as detailed as you can. Um, Talking about the feelings of you and your family members at home, dialogue, right? What are the people in your home saying and things that you're noticing, whether it be in your own house, your neighborhood, maybe when you go to the grocery store, because the cool thing is you're the author of your own story, right? And you want the reader to feel as though they're a part of it. So long, 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 long down the road, if you end up sharing this with maybe a future child that you may have one day, or just someone who wasn't around to experience this, you want to write it in a way that the reader who wasn't here for it is able to visualize and feel like they were a part of it. Don't feel limited to just words either, right? We love reading nonfiction books that have visuals for us to see. So draw a picture of what you're noticing. Maybe just doodle. Add pictures of yourself to document a day in the life of you. Okay. A really good idea that I had was I was at the grocery store and I noticed all of the empty shelves and I thought, I could see myself taking a picture and printing it out of the empty shelves and putting that in my journal, right? Because that wasn't a normal thing before this pandemic. So that's just an example for you. And then just some more directions is that so each day we will write in our journals and you'll be given a little prompt to respond to. Each prompt that you will get is considered a new chapter in your story. So, if it's going to be a new chapter in your story and it's going to be a brand new sheet of paper, it's kind of telling me how long each chapter or prompt should be, right? You shouldn't be writing just 2 to 3 sentences and then saying, I'm done, right? You're journaling, you're writing chapters. Okay. That also doesn't mean they have to be 10 pages long, right? But I want you to be really taking this seriously and taking your time on it because it is really cool, actually. And so each prompt should be given a brand new sheet of paper. So if one day I wrote chapter 1, chapter 2 comes and I flip to a brand new sheet of paper and I label it chapter 2. And again, I want you to really, really, really be careful with writing complete sentences and making sure you begin those sentences with a capital letter and you're ending it with a period or other forms of punctuation. And the last thing that's super important is writing in your best handwriting. If you're going to read this down the line when you're older, you want to be able to read it, right? So taking your time when you're writing and writing your best handwriting, which means you need to be writing in pencil. You're going to notice that when I am modeling certain journal entries, that I'm going to be using a black Flair pen. And that's only because I wanted to make sure that you're able to see what I'm doing through the camera, but you should be using a pencil. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you what our job is today. It's super simple. You're just going to be starting your pandemic journal. So once you find that type of notebook that you're going to use, you are going to start that journal. All right, so I'm going to show you what your first page is going to look like. So I just opened up my journal. My first page is going to say, let's see, I think I need to flip it this way so you can read it. Okay, pandemic journal. So I had titled it Pandemic Journal, and then I wrote my name, and then I wrote March 2020 because that's when our journal starts. Okay. All right, and then the second part, and I'll post pictures of these two just so you have those to look at. Then the second part of our journal is going to be kind of an all about me page. So I'm going to see what happens when I move this. All right. I can draw a picture of myself to make it fun. All about me. You're gonna be just adding to your page stuff about you. Okay. So the first part that I'm gonna put is my name. I'm gonna write my full name, Carly Curtis. I almost wrote long. All right, and then I'm going to put my age. What's my age? Do you guys remember? 27 years old. All right, and then the third part I'm going to do is where I live. So you would put Elko New Market or Lonsdale or Lakeville. I live all the way in Hopkins, Minnesota. Okay. And then some other things, and you can add to this too. It doesn't have to be just what I am putting down. And then I want you to put a grade you're in. So I'm going to put fourth grade teacher. And then any other information that you think would be really important to put into your okay, so that's completely up to you. I'm going to show this closer so you're able to really see what I put down. Okay, and again, you can decorate this. You can use markers, crayons if you want to draw a picture of yourself. This is just kind of a fun page. Feel free, you could add your siblings, your parents' names. You could put all sorts of fun stuff on your All About Me page. So take the time and have fun with this. That is just the start of our pandemic journal. So once again, you're going to need a notebook of some form and a pencil for your pandemic journal, and we will have part 2 tomorrow. All right, I will see you guys later.